How's it going? Today I want to talk about the manga. I transformed Incubus and started a counterattack X life with high school girls. Created by Aburi Seimon Maru. One of the greatest fantasies for a guy is to be the only dude at social events. That's why we are always talking about ratios and sausage parties. Because nobody wants to attend an event full of dudes. So when your family tells you that you'll be going to an all-girls school that is recently turned co-ed, that should be the best day of your life. But what should have been a dream actually turns out to be a nightmare. At least for the beginning of this manga. We start off in a classroom where our main character, Teiko, is getting bullied by two girls, calling him a poor little monkey and saying that they're gonna video him while he changes. Teiko tries to tell them to stop, but the pressure from the girls makes him back down and say that he would never do that. He proceeds to say that he doesn't have a single ally nearby. We move on to the outside part of the school where they are having PE class with Teiko looking at his text messages after being notified that his friend has dropped out of school. As he ponders about the time when there used to be 10 of them, he suddenly gets hit by a volleyball. We are introduced to Moroga Usuzu, a spoiled, rich brat that thinks very highly of herself and very low on others. Nakazumi Yura is her accomplice, who from the beginning of the co-ed transition of the school, they have tormented all the guys, causing them to drop out, taking the nickname of dropouts undertakers. After berating Teiko, the girls tell him to go change in the old abandoned school building. He walks into the Black Magic Research Club, and here we find out that the only reason Teiko is going to this school was because the tuition was so cheap, and currently Teiko's family isn't in a position where they can financially change schools. After changing, he proceeds to try to get out, but the door is locked. Isuzu and Yura show up and proceed to wake up Teiko as they wonder about the weird books lying around. Teiko is slowly getting his senses back as he overhears the girls talking about him, and for some reason they decide that the best way to wake up homie is to undress him. This is when we turn up the heat, going from 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds, and Teiko has now two girls licking his lollipop. The girls are hot and bothered and proceed to do the forbidden sandwich jutsu that I honestly haven't seen before in the manga. After finishing, the girls question Teiko and what sort of black magic he used on them to do those things. He doesn't understand it fully himself, but he thinks it has something to do with an incubus, the male version of the succubus, a dream demon who charms women. He tests out his theory and proceeds to do whatever he has wanted since the beginning. In the next panels, I was getting a bit of Dragon Ball Z vibes because they kept calling him a monkey, but that's just me. A couple days later, while Teiko is going into school, the girls yell at him and tell him to meet him at the usual spot to beat him up. The girls around him were laughing, thinking that he's still getting bullied by this pair. But little do they know, the tables have now turned. Wow, what a manga. Overall, I give this a 7.5 out of 10. The story was very well done. The personalities of the characters were written in a way where I actually didn't like the girls from the beginning because they did feel like bullies, and that ending was just a cherry on top. Let me know what you think.